Last day for the Redneck Garage. Well, I'm in the garage. It's windy and rainy out right now, but I've been working on getting the distributor put in, and that's one step closer to getting this thing fired up and running and hearing it purr like a kitten, we hope. So I wanted to take a look at how you put a distributor in a 2.5 Jeep motor. It's basically the same for a 6-cylinder. It's longer, and I've got a PDF in the description of this, or on my website in the technical service manuals. There's the actual Jeep manual on how to do it if you wanted to follow along with that. Also, super cool, been working on fuel systems, wiring harnesses, dashboard, all that crap, and we're getting really super close. I'm putting another fender on, getting the wiring mounted down onto it, and I'm hoping this week we'll be able to turn the key and hear that thing start. I got a lot of other little odds and ends, like maybe getting a fuel tank. That would be a good thing. So we're going to be putting a fuel pump in, getting the fuel tank mounted. Golly, I've got a whole list of stuff. If you watch shows like Overhauling, this is like that, except slower. So let's get to the videos. Randy the Turd here, he's blowing the horn, got the dogs all excited. What's up?
I'm smelling something like you maybe tried to turn it over or something?
No, I did not try to turn it over.
Okay. Guess
where we're going today? Tell them where we're going, Randy. Where are we
France
going?
game!
Yeah, Predators!
Yeah.
Hey, we beat the, who?
Hawks.
Chicago! So Randy came over and he was not a lot of help. I'm putting in the distributor today and he's just like, well, just stick it in there. So obviously, probably not going to follow his advice. All right, I'm working on the Jeep today and there's no sun around, but we're putting the distributor in because I'm trying to get this stinking thing ready to run. All right, the first thing we need to do when putting in the distributor is going to find your zero marks, and there's the notch for timing here and the zero mark there, and I'm going to take liquid paper and just mark those two spots carefully so I know where my indexes are, and when I use a timing gun later I can double check it with that. All right, I'm going to mark the zero mark. And I'm going to mark the zero mark here. And that mark needs to line up with this. Now you don't want to go backwards, you always want to go forwards when you're doing this. Now if you're reading the factory manual, it'll say put your finger in the hole and turn the motor over until you feel compression. It's a brand new motor, so it's kind of hard to turn, so what I've done is I like to just take a compression tester, and when I see that needle go up, then I know I'm on my compression stroke, and then you're going to stop at that line. Alright, so we got our distributor with the pin in it, which is basically a screw that keeps that from rotating, right? And you got your gears on the bottom, and there's your oil pump down there. I'll see if I can get it where you can see it. You want to take a flat screwdriver and turn that to where it's about at 10 o'clock, so it'll line up. Now it's going to rotate around as it goes in, and you can kind of see that here in a minute, but that's about where you want to have it on a 2.5. We'll get the distributor put in there, and you're going to get it pretty close to almost parallel, right at where those ears will clear. You can see right here, right about there is where you want to be. And then when it goes into the gears, it'll stop with the hole right there. Super cool! So our distributor's in, and I can go ahead and put the rest of the pieces in. Now you want to make sure to take your pin out. That would be a short trip if you didn't, because then it couldn't rotate around. I don't know, it'd break something for sure if you didn't take that pin out. So now we got rotation from the motor, which is good, and I can go ahead and put the sensor back on. It's going to pretty much line up with those holes. It snaps on. I've cleaned the ends of the terminals off with electrical cleaner, so that should be in good shape. Put your hold down back on and tighten it up. And that feels good. Devin's here! Yeah, he came over to gloat because he's got a Jeep and it's put together. How well is that one running, Dev? Huh?
Well, that's a good question.
I think that may be another Redneck Garage project coming up.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me about your Jeep? It needs what?
It needs an overhaul. It needs fuel injectors on an old CJ.
All he needs to do is spend the money and I'll put it on.
It's just, what, $1,100?
Probably closer to $15 once you're done with everything. He's got a carbureted old CJ and it was up in Alaska, right?
It was. 85 CJ, so I think it was the last year CJs were made.
That's because they killed so many people. They had to switch designs and make them lower. Yeah, I got to do a video on that too. Anyway, so we're going to be looking at that here shortly. As soon as I get this thing running, we're going to take a look at his because it's really a super cool Jeep. Any other words of wisdom?
Keep turning the wrenches.
Yeah, there you go. He watches the channel once in a while. Anyway, I'm back to this crap. Got a new rotor. Slide that baby on. And I've got a new cap. We're going to just tighten that up and that'll be ready to go. This is the oil coil. And you can see how that metal's kind of flaking and popping out from rust. But it actually still worked. I mean, the truck did start up. Isn't that crazy? Here's the new coil. And it doesn't even have a covering on it. It's just a coil. And there it is. There's the bracket. I painted it and cleaned up the bolts, and it's ready to be installed on the engine block. So these are the wires they sent me, and you can tell that these are not the right ones. They're just way too long for 2.5, so I'm going to have to go start from scratch on those, which is okay. I can go ahead and get everything else buttoned back together, but man, what the heck? Alright, so I'm super happy with the progress. We're getting ever so close to being able to turn that key and hear it fire up. I got more stuff coming up, that's for sure. And just keep watching and we'll see if this thing actually does run. I'm Dave from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.